Hi there everybody, it's me Rosslyn and welcome to a new Let's Play series. I'm going to be doing a Let's Play. I'm going to be doing the introduction today for Starship Traveller. Yep, that's right. That's right, I'm starting on the fighting fantasy books. And I have quite a lot of those. So, yep, that's what's happening today. So, I'm going to read the blurb. Appears to have two blurbs. Blurb at the back, blurb at the front. What else do we have? Preparing for your mission. We get a little bit of lore, just a cheeky little bit at the start. In this one you play as an entire crew as well as their ship. Rather than being an individual hero, it does not follow the standard fighting fantasy format. There's a tongue twister for you. I really like this book though. I played it once like 8 months ago or something, and I did have it as a kid. I loved it as a kid. So, and I don't remember what the heck I did 8 months ago at all. Wasn't trying to remember or anything for sure. So, oh, the illustrations are brilliant. I'm just having a quick flick through, but yes, I shouldn't get distracted. The illustrations are cool though. I'll show you what I mean. It's easy to get distracted. They have this lovely look to them. I think that's asteroids on the right. I like the planets with the ship in front. It's very stylized. Here you can see the gun there. And I'll say this is my scruffy copy of it. I have a slightly better one, but this one, apparently somebody else got it for 80p from the charity shop. I think I got a bundle of 4 scruffy fighting fantasy books for like a tenner or something, and that's why. Oh, the page is all folded, so I'm scuffling about trying to. Because I'm not having that. I'm straightening it out. There we go. That's better. Must have been folded when I got it. It's not in the best condition. That's fine for 250. I don't care. But yeah, 80p from the charity shop. That is about the deal with quite a lot of my books that I got when I was a kid. Brilliant. 250 is an absolute steal for these. By the way, if anyone is flogging 4 of these for a tenner, y'all nab that up. Because 2 of those books I did not have, 2 of them I did, but it means I have a nice scruffy reading copy that I can use to do a Let's Play. Anyway, I must stop banging on about random stuff and get on with reading the blurb. So we've got the blurb on the back of the book here. Part story, part game. This is a book with a difference, one in which you become the hero. Sucked through the appalling nightmare of the Celtian void, the Starship Traveller emerges at the other side of the black hole into an unknown universe. You are the captain of the Traveller, and her fate lies in your hands. Will you be able to discover the way back to... It's got a scuffed bit here, sorry. Back to Earth from the alien peoples and planets you encounter? Or will you and your crew be doomed to roam uncharted space forever? Okay, 2 dice, a pencil and a rubber are all you need for this adventure. You decide which planets to visit, which dangers to risk, and which aliens to fight. I suspect there may be a certain amount of not choosing with dangers to risk and aliens to fight in deep space, but that's fair enough. Being there in the first place may be indeed my choice. They make a fair point. Oh, I should say this was written by Steve Jackson. It is the 4th Fighting Fantasy game book. It was written in 1983. Wow, this is the 9th reprint from 1984, yes. They became really popular and had tons of reprints of those in 1983 and 4. Absolutely brilliant. The cover and illustrations are by Peter Andrew Jones. nice one, mate. Like, say, love how you have stylized them. They're sort of not minimalist, but not overly complicated. And I like that. I like that. It's a puffin book, I'll say too. And apparently, in, what did I say, 1983, it was £1.50. Wow. Or, well, in 1984 it must have been. Okay, on the front it says it's an adventure of the far future to which you are the hero, complete with combat system, alien encounters, and score sheet. And indeed, it has all these things. I keep thinking of these people on the front as being like, okay, do these look like American footballers to anyone else? Every single time I see the illustration, and it's a beautiful illustration, but I keep thinking of it as something to do with American football or something to do with sports, and it's not supposed to be, I don't think. I don't know, this one's kind of got an American football hat on. It is an odd illustration for the front, but I'm overlooking that. It's just about space. It's a nice sci-fi adventure. Oh, the thing there is the thing printed at the front without scuffs all over it. Never mind. Okay, so I can skip a lot of the thing at the front. Steve Jackson, co-founder of the highly successful Games Workshop, has created a thrilling adventure amongst the stars. There are 3 new forms of combat to be used, a full ship's crew, and an adventure sheet to record your gains and losses. And in the classic 80s style, I have made myself a dodgy photocopy of the adventure sheet that I can use for the full experience. Right, so I have 2 dice, I have my pencil, I have my eraser. It's telling us about the other ones that have been published. 4, it's saying, even wait. Fighting Fantasy Gamebook 4 is Starship Traveller, but 4 were published before this, it's saying. The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, the Citadel of Chaos, the Forest of Doom, and the City of Thieves. City of Thieves is the 5th one. Why? Why is this one the 4th one and City of Thieves is the 5th one if that one was published first? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter, don't even care, that's fine. Let's crack on with the lore. Preparing for your mission. You are captain of the Starship Traveller. The ship itself is the pride of your Astro Navy. Its weapons and defence systems are the most technically advanced in the fleet, and its crew are first rate. Before you begin your voyage, you must determine the strengths and weaknesses of yourself as captain and your crew members. The journey through the black hole will do some damage to the weapons and defence systems on the ship. To determine your starting characteristics, you will need 2 dice and a pencil to record scores on the adventure sheet. Blah blah blah, take photocopies, yada yada yada. It is unlikely that you will find the way back to Earth in your first adventure. I'll say for people who are not acquainted with fighting fantasy books, these are a bloodbath. I'm probably not gonna last long. These kill you the entire way through your game. So we may have lots and lots of playthroughs of this one. I don't know. Some of them are not too bad for, like, longevity of the player. Some of them is like, you take 3 steps and die just about, honestly. Some of them are hilarious for the sheer amount of times I have died. Cough, 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 creature of havoc, cough, 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 cough. This one might not be too bad. We'll see. Alright. Unlike previous fantasy game books, you won't find rules for fighting alien creatures and ships here at the beginning of the book. They have rules for ship to ship, and for hand to hand, and for phaser, which are the laser pistols, for the combat for all 3 types. These are all given in the text of the book to allow you to start playing with minimal delay. I really appreciate that, honestly. It's nicely made, this book. As you come across combat situations, you will be referred to sections describing the appropriate combat rules. All you need to do here is roll dice to determine the initial scores on your adventure sheet. Cool, I can do that. This is just like doing a standard fighting fantasy setup, but you do it a bunch of times because there's like a bunch of you, and then you've got your ship as well that you roll some dice for it. And then, yeah, we've got a captain, that's me, science officer, medical officer, engineering officer, security officer, 2 security guards, and the ship. Cool, cool, cool. It's got a section where the ship, roll one die, sorry. Add 6 to the roll, enter this total in the weapon strength section of your adventure sheet. When shooting at enemy ships, you will need to roll lower, not lower or equal, but specifically lower, than this score to make a hit. Roll 1 die, add 12 to this roll, enter this total in the shields section on your adventure sheet. When enemy ships hit you, you will lose points from this shield score. Your shields will weaken significantly after a few hits have been taken. If your ship is ever hit when your shield score is 0, your ship will be destroyed instantly. You and your crew. Personnel will perform according to their skill and stamina scores. Their skill score reflects their abilities within their own profession, i.e., your science officer's skill with computers, your medical officer's skill as a doctor, your security officer's combat ability, and your own leadership and decision-making skills as captain. On your adventure sheet, you will see entries for your key staff. So yeah, that's the rundown I just gave you. Repeat the following procedure for each in turn. Roll 1 die, add 6 to the result, enter the total as that person's skill score. Roll 2 dice, add 12 to the result, enter the total as that person's stamina score. You may now see how each crew member is likely to perform at his/her job. The higher the skill score, the better. Combat. Only security staff are skilled in combat. They will be your obvious choice in hand-to-hand or phaser fighting. Non-security staff may fight, but their skills lie in other areas. If, by choice or through necessity, you wish a non-security crew member to fight an alien, you must deduct 3 points from his or her skill score during the battle. This rule, and they've got stars for this on the adventure sheet to make it easy to remember, I'm going to say, because I had a wee look at it before. But this rule they're saying here too, it applies to your science officer, the medical officer, and the engineering officer only. So that's going to be because they're so specialist, right? So busy looking at, what did they say, computers and something to do with patching people up and engineering and that. Just so dedicated that they have not learnt the combat, really, other than basic point and shoot. That's fair. It does not apply to you as the ship's captain. Your own fighting skills are equal to your professional skills, as befits a true hero. Luck. Every true hero is at the mercy of the forces of chance. You will find a luck box on your adventure sheet. Roll 1 die, add 6 to the roll, and enter the total in this luck box. Call it acts of God or the Force or whatever you will. Luck will play an important part in your adventure. Beaming down onto planets. When you arrive at a planet, you will be given the option of beaming down onto the surface. Sometimes only you will beam down, but often you will be instructed to choose 2 or 3 crew members to accompany you. When given this choice, you may choose only crew members listed on your adventure sheet. There are some other restrictions limiting your choice. See the losing an officer section below. Your science officer is a problem solver. Your medical officer is a doctor. Your engineering officer has a knowledge of mechanics and geology. And your security officer and guards are your fighters. Record your choices before you land on the planet, okay? And remember that only those staff that are actually in the landing party will be able to act for you while on the surface. This is crucial to this particular game. You must remember not to be using anyone who's left on your spaceship, okay? Restoring stamina. On some planets, you may become involved in fights and other situations which drain your stamina scores. There are two ways of restoring stamina. You may find a planet with superior medical technology able to restore stamina. Instructions for this will be given in the text. You may also restore 2 stamina points to each crew member listed on your adventure sheet every time you leave a planet. However, you may only gain the advantage of this medical treatment if you still have your original medical officer. So they're sort of like, really key. They can't fight, they're quite squishy, but they do be doing this auto-healing. So, really think about when you wheel them out to a planet, right? If your medical officer dies, it says, you may not restore stamina in this way, and at all times, crew members' stamina scores may never exceed their initial value. Losing an officer or security guard. If, during your adventure, one of the officers or guards listed on your adventure sheet dies or is lost, you must cross him, or I'm gonna add in here, her, because I think all of mine are going to be ladies. I actually have umpteen qualifications. I've done loads of courses in engineering and all sorts of STEM stuff and all this kind of jazz. I know nothing about biology, but why shouldn't my medical officer be a lady too? Yeah, I know all my engineers or whoever the heck they said. All my people with guns too. Yeah, I went to some kind of weird adventure camp when I was like a little kid. And even in the UK, they just gave us an assortment of guns to shoot in this semi-controlled environment. It was brilliant. I'm sure they don't allow that nowadays. So yeah, no, why not? Everybody's a lady, so yeah. We were being he and she up until now, weren't we? What happened? Now I'm supposed to have a sausage fest on my ship. Why? Steve Jackson. Speak to me, bruv. What's going on? Nah, man, mine are all ladies. Right. Sorry to kick off everybody, but it keeps happening and it's exhausting. It is exhausting. Why should us ladies not exist? It's all we want. The right to exist. So, that being the case, yeah. If, during my adventure, one of the officers or guards listed on my adventure sheet dies or is lost, you must cross her off your adventure sheet, and she must play no further part in the adventure. Her position is taken over by her assistant, and I'm going to do this each time I do it so you can see how often it is, actually. You must determine the skill and stamina scores of this newly promoted assistant and then record them on the adventure sheet. The assistant's skill score is equal to the skill score of the lost officer. There's the fire crackling in the background, don't mind it. The assistant's skill score is equal to the skill score of the lost officer minus 2 points, as this assistant is not as skillful as the officer she replaces. The assistant's stamina score is determined in the normal way, i.e. roll 2 dice and add 12 to the result. This newly promoted replacement may not, and this is key, They can't be beamed down onto planets or used in any missions where you are instructed to choose a crew member, okay? Being the last available candidate for her particular position, you cannot risk losing her. See how often it is? Annoying, right? However, you may use her for routine duties, i.e. where no option is given in the text. A replacement medical officer may restore stamina to injured crew members on leaving planets. See restoring stamina above, but at the reduced rate of 1 stamina point per planet. Ooh, okay. Interesting. I'd completely forgotten that. And I think that's the whole setup. We just get a wee bit of lore to get me prepared. Now, I'll say before I kick off with the last piece that it's a lot of clattering dice to set this up. It's a lot of people and it's extremely boring. So what I'm going to do is read the last bit of lore, have a break, and do my boring, noisy dice rolling, and then kick off the second episode, launching into the adventure. And I'll tell you what I rolled. I have no reason to fib, so please believe me. And for this first playthrough at least, I'm going to do it vanilla. I'm going to do it no cheating. None of the 5-finger shuffle we all know about. None of this pretending I rolled a 10 when I did not at all. You know, roll a 10 or whatever. We all know I rolled a 7 for skill. I'm going to go with it and just see how long I can survive for. It's a challenge, right? It's going to be fun. But yes, the final bit of lore is here. Your adventure is about to begin. The scores you have recorded on your adventure sheet will give you an indication of the strengths and weaknesses of yourself, your crew, and your ship. You need know nothing of how these scores will come into play. All will be explained as necessary as your adventure unfolds. In the adventure which follows, you are the captain of the Traveller, lost in an unknown universe. Your own skill as a captain will determine whether you and your crew will ever see Earth again. You're about to be flung through a black hole into unknown space. Your only chance of return will be to find another suitable black hole and guide the ship through it, back to your own universe. You are now ready to set off. Take your seat on the bridge and prepare yourself for the adventure ahead. Indeed I shall. I might get myself some coffee first. Let me get some lovely minimalist art there. It's tricky to get it shown properly. I don't want to straighten and bend the pages too much, even though it is my scruffy copy, just in case it does actually fall to bits or something. And in fact, I'll show you this last picture here as a teaser for what's coming up, because I vaguely remember this, but I'm not going to say a thing about it. I'm just going to say, do-do-dun-dun, coming up in episode 2. Approaching the black hole, the Traveller. Are they doomed? Will they survive? Will they ever make it back alive? Dun 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 dun! Tune in for the next exciting episode to find out. Also, please click like if you've liked this video. It's the only way I know that you've enjoyed it. Toodaloo the noo, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!